Today we will consider the power of place as described by scholar Dolores Hayden. What shapes who you are? There are so many factors that shape how we think of ourselves, how we identify, how we think of the I or us. Is it where you were born or where you grew up? Your gender or sex? Your nationality? Your ethnicity or race? Is it particular life experiences? It may be any or all of these or something else. One factor that shapes how we think of ourselves and our history is place. As Dolores Hayden writes in this week's reading, there is a power of place. How does place shape us? Let's think about the border region that encompasses El Paso and Ciudad Juarez. We have a river. Sometimes it's not much of a river. It used to be wide and bursting with water, which is why in Mexico it's called the Rio Bravo, the wild or fierce river. It has drawn people to this region for millennia. It has flooded. It has changed the U.S.-Mexico boundary. It has shifted course. People drown in it every year. It's on the list of most endangered rivers in the world. If water is life, what will happen to our huge binational metroplex if water runs out, as some experts predict? We are also surrounded by mountains. The Franklin Mountains that divide our city in half, the Huecotanks Mountains on the U.S. side, and the Sierra Juarez on the other side of the border. There have been people living here for thousands of years. How has the presence of the river and the mountains shaped this history? As you know, this class is about the history of El Paso and Ciudad Juarez. These two photos show iconic images from both cities. On the left is the Cathedral of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Juarez. It represents the founding of the city in 1659, when a mission was built by Franciscans to Christianize the people that the Spanish called the Mansos, or the Dasaoans. On the right is the star on the mountain. It's become emblematic of El Paso. The star was built by the El Paso Electric Company in the 1940s and shown during Christmas season. By the 1980s, its schedule had expanded and now it shines every night. What does it mean to be a Juarense or an El Pasoan? What do you consider yourself? I think of myself as a fronteriza, someone from the border. I think of myself as someone from the Chihuahuan Desert because my indigenous ancestors lived here. I consider myself a paseña, Spanish for El Pasoan. I think of myself as an American by naturalization. I think of myself as a Mexican by birth. What is place? There are two aspects to its definition. One is the built environment, what humans have built there. This could be homes, businesses, schools, churches. It could be roads or canals. The second aspect is what people feel towards that place, what meaning they give that place. When I think of El Segundo Barrio, for example, I think of my great-grandmother dying in a tenement apartment there in 1927 at 40 years of age, and I feel sad. And I think of it as my ancestral neighborhood. When I drive by Guillen School, which was once Bowie Elementary School, I think of how proud my mother was to have graduated from there in the 1920s. As a historian, when I walk the streets of El Segundo, I imagine the many thousands of immigrants who have crossed the border and landed there, and the opportunities and the challenges that they faced in this new country. Remember that each week you'll make one discussion post that is due on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. The post should be no less than 250 words. And by Saturday, you'll respond to the posts of 2 of your classmates. The discussion prompt for this week comes from Dolores Hayden's article, The Power of Place, Claiming Urban Landscapes as People's History. In this article, she discusses the benefits to both people and cities of keeping social history alive in the urban landscape. In a post, write about what you think is the most significant aspect of recognizing the power of place. Remember, it's due Thursday by 11:59 p.m. and your response to 2 other students is due by Saturday at 11:09 p.m.